How would you like some peanut butter with that jelly sandwich? Mother.
Hey, oh, it's the Chris Court Show. Hey, oh.
This is Josh Morningstar. You're listening to the Chris Court Show, and this episode is brought to you by...
Hey, hey, hey.
What are you, Fat Albert now?
I'm Fat Albert. How's everyone doing? And how are you, Matt?
Tired.
Oh, your poor baby got tired.
I'm tired.
You too tired.
I need a nappy.
You need a little nappy.
Now, see if you can't have a diaper.
Oh, yeah. As we learned from our previous interview with the Battery Farm. Hope you guys liked that episode with the Battery Farm. I told you it was a hilarious episode.
It was a great episode.
Yeah.
I feel like it just happened.
Yeah. Well, good things come to those who wait.
That's true.
And that's why here it is, another interview episode, and I am very, very, very excited about this. Josh.
Who did we interview?
Morningstar.
Oh, I didn't interview him.
You didn't interview him, no. No, I was by myself because you had to work.
I have a job that pays me.
Yeah, this pays you too.
Motherfucker, I've been losing money here. I buy whiskey. I buy cigars. I buy ads.
Ants.
Ads.
Oh, ads. Well,
equipment.
I just made homebrewed beer.
That was terrible.
Oh,
it was absolutely terrible.
I've been doing it since what, 2000?
This was not a good one.
2013.
Something went wrong.
I think so far I had 3 or 4 batches that were just not good.
This one definitely was not good.
This one wasn't good. You're the one who said it was good.
It wasn't terrible at first, but the more I drank it, it was bad.
Well, you're the motherfuckers that said put more maple syrup in it.
No, your wife said that.
Right, but I
said I don't disagree with her. But that was after the fact. You already did it.
So I hope you guys did enjoy the last show. Like I said, we have an interview here with Josh Morningstar. It's just me in this, and man, it was really cool. He had a lot of good outlooks on different things, and on the radio now, the country music. Josh Morningstar wrote a song called "Must Be the Whiskey," and Cody Jinks recorded it. And you'll hear that in the interview. And, that song just...
It blew up.
Shot up.
Yep.
Me and you just seen Cody Jinks at the Harley Davidson Fest.
Yeah. He was really good, too.
Opened up for Foo Fighters. That's when I peed my pants.
During Foo Fighters, you peed your pants.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to move.
But you still ended up half peeing your pants and then going to the bathroom to get
because I felt disgusted.
And you had to ride on your bike on the way back.
You
didn't shower that night either. I laid in the same bed with you.
Oh, everyone pees their pants. If you ain't... Wait, what is it? You ain't cool unless you pee your pants.
You ain't cool if you don't pee your pants.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's man, and you can hear in this episode, it's kind of funny at the end. There was a little chipmunk that got into the studio here, and right at the end of you probably won't hear it. I got the video for it, but
how did the chipmunk get in the studio?
I have no clue. All of a sudden, Josh was talking to me, and I felt bad. Like, right at the end, this fucking chipmunk was looking me right in the fucking face. But
you got up on the table?
No. But I ignored it. I ignored it.
Just let him gnaw on your ankle?
Yeah, I was a little more interested in not dealing with this chipmunk here. And
you could have just kicked him.
Yeah.
He probably would have scurried away.
Nah, I doubt it.
I don't mean like kick him hard, just like, give him a little nudge.
Yeah, I'm going to get the PETA after you.
People for eating tasty animals.
What? But yeah, so it was an awesome interview. I really, really did not want to end the episode, but I did have my fucking kid had to go to karate. I had to take him to karate.
You also had a 40-minute time limit.
I had a 40-minute time limit, and I do want to talk to him again because that was fun. Like I said, it was like, he was down to earth dude, and
Yeah, you showed me a couple snippets of the interview. Snippets, nothing major. So I still got to check it out myself.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. Like I said, we talked a lot, about a lot of cool things, and very appreciative of that.
Good. Sounds like you had fun.
You look tired as shit.
I am.
God, go to sleep.
Long...
The fuck? Oh, shit. So anyway, let's just get into the song here. And I do talk a lot about, and we did play Josh Morningstar on our season. What season was that? 22?
Very early in the episode.
Yeah, it was like one of our first episodes in season 22.
I'll try to find it during the song.
That I played Josh Morningstar, Damn These Birds, which is probably one of my favorite songs by Josh Morningstar. But this one, too, I was talking about, and Josh Morningstar does kind of say what the song was about, and, it goes into his drug addiction and him getting out of it and, and being clean now. So, but there was this other song that I do mention in it, and I really, really like the song. Like I told him, it's kind of like a modern oldies song.
It was season 22, episode 4.
Yeah, so it was right there. So without further ado, let's get into this song. This is Josh Morningstar. We Were There on the Chris Court Show.
And she walks along the sidewalk through the rain, and she shivers in the cold while I try to hide my longing, my falling. She goes about her Monday morning, making music from the madness of the taxi cabs and winos taking change. And I watch from the window as I drink morning coffee that's as black as the tiny little onyx on her necklace made of gold. And I wonder if the gift came from a lover who once held her. How I wish that I could hold her just the same for a second, for a minute. She smiled the kind of smile that makes a city stop and stare for a minute. For a while we were there. And she sighs and throws her arms up as she steps in a puddle while I laugh from a distance at the sight of her frustration that I know comes from feeling like the whole world's so unfeeling, like my feelings for her flood the heart like rain around her toes. And I pay for the coffee, then I step out in the city where she danced between the buildings to the sounds of singing sirens and the ghosts of the others who have left her for their freedom, finding failure, misbelieving, easy coming, easy goes for a second, for a minute. I smiled the kind of smile that comes from never having cared for a minute. For a while I was there.
Are you tired of listening to music on the radio?
when you can listen to music like this.
This ain't the hot air that I thought I knew. I like my coffee black. Oh, get that milk out of this coffee. I'm a criminal. I do this every day. I take the low.
All these bands and more can be found on the Chris Court Show with all new episodes.
Maybe we'll live forever, never throw this stuff away.
All right, Josh Morningstar, we were there.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
And see, and
very different from the first song I played from him.
Well, that's another thing. Like, you could, in the interview that you're about to hear, he kind of talks like, you know, it's hard for a record label to go onto a record label because there's not quite a place to put his music.
I mean, I still think that, like, if you listen to the majority of his songs, a lot of them do have, like, almost a folk vibe to it.
Yeah, you were saying that, like
Yeah.
a folk vibe.
But it's more, like, modern than, like, your traditional folk music, so...
Yeah, well, you were saying while we were listening to it, electric folk?
Yeah, well, because I said this would have, like, a lot more electrical, like electric band stuff in the background, like almost synthesizers.
Dylan already did it, man. Dylan did it when he picked up the electric guitar.
Maybe he's bringing it back.
Yeah, like the modern day Dylan.
Yeah. This will be like EDM folk.
What the fuck?
I don't know what to classify it as either.
Yeah. But
it's really cool.
Yeah. And
classified, cool music.
We were talking about it, and you know, that was another song that I brought up. I mean, you just got to listen to this interview. It's really cool. Again, he had a lot of outlooks on different things. You know, as far as country music goes, and you know, and he talks about him, you know, writing that song "Must Be the Whiskey," and how it felt like for Cody Jinks to, you know, record it and brought him up on stage. I don't want to ruin it. So let's just get into
the interview. Yep.
Let's just get into this interview. Thanks a lot for listening, and listen more, because right now we're going to play the interview by Josh Morningstar here on the Chris Court Show.
I met Mockingbird, she sang a song to me, gave me some fentanyl, flew off.
All right, so how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Good. Yeah, it's you know, been watching your live videos in the mornings, and you know, you sound really good. You're doing really good.
Man, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I want to talk to you about something that is just been on the top of my head. So, Damn These Birds. That is a fucking awesome, phenomenal song. Especially one of the lyrics, Killing Pain That Doesn't Hurt. Phenomenal lyric.
Yes, sir.
So where did you come up with this song?
Are we recording now? Like, we're good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. So I'm a recovering heroin addict. Been off heroin for 12 years. But nobody wakes up one day and says, "Hey, I think I'm going to do heroin today." At least in my experience, that's not how it goes. I got into opiates. I was having seizures. And when I was out of these seizures, I would be in so much pain from my body being tensed up and you know, everything that goes along with a seizure, that the doctors prescribed me Vicodin. And this was back, this would have been like 07, 08, when doctors were still giving out painkillers like M&Ms. I've talked to doctors since then that couldn't believe that a doctor would give me Vicodin for pain after a seizure, but that's what happened. And I was on it for about 10 months, and I was having about a seizure a day, one a day. So I was taking painkillers every day, you know, and when you do something that is, when you do something every day, especially something like an opiate where your body becomes dependent on it, you need it, right? Well, eventually they just cut me off. They said, okay, we're not going to give you any more painkillers. Well, by that point I was hooked. So I started buying them on the street, and it's a slippery slope, man, from pain pills to heroin. Heroin's a much cheaper alternative. And, when you're buying shit on the street, you want as much bang for your buck, so to speak, as possible.
Right.
And it didn't take long to go from painkillers to heroin. But so that's essentially where it came from, was just my past history with opiates. But all those, every prescription drug I mentioned in that song, from fentanyl to Demerol, Vicodin, Percocet, I've done them all. Demerol not Demerol, Dilaudid was actually the first drug that I ever injected intravenously.
Oh wow!
And then once you do that, man, you're not far from the big H at all.
Yeah.
So,
but you're going strong now.
Yes, sir. My clean date is October 17th, 2011. So
hey, man, congrats.
Appreciate you, man. So it's coming up on 12 years in 2 weeks? Actually, 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
It'll be 12 years. That morning I woke up and I decided that I was either going to kill myself and die, just overdose and die that day, or I was never going to touch the stuff again. And, I'm still not sure why I decided to hang around, but I did. And here we are 12 years
There's
later.
a reason for everything, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree.
And I did want to introduce you. This is Josh Morningstar, who we're talking to. And sorry, I just wanted to jump into that song because I've been playing that on repeat. But I do want to say thank you for coming on, man.
Man, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, and I'm glad it worked out. You were kind of cutting out there, man. I'm going to go back inside so I can hear you a little better.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Cool.
So you're, and I've been listening to you for years now. So it's kind of cool talking to you about this too. You're an excellent writer, man. What goes into the process of your writing a song? Like, what types of things inspire you?
Life. So even if it's not a song where it's something I specifically have lived out, there's always going to be elements of myself in there. My biggest inspirations, it would have to be life and just the things I've gone through. I have a little spiel I give in my live show where I say, one thing, there's something you should know about me. I'm a crazy person, and I don't mean crazy like ha ha ha, he's so crazy. I mean, we the jury find the defendant. That type of crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the truth, man. So most of my songs, I'd say probably 90% of them, if not more, they come from life. And I think it's probably a blessing and a curse. In a way, it's therapeutic. In another way, you have to relive all these horrible events every night. You know what I mean?
Right,
Singing these songs. So kind of a blessing and a curse. But the guys that I've always admired, whether it be Hank Williams or Townes Van Zandt, Chris Christopherson, or even through to Billy Don Burns, all these people have always put big pieces of themselves into their art, and that's just how I've always done it.
Yeah, and for Hank Williams, you're talking about Senior, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm a huge Hank Williams fan. I actually just got the other day Luke the Drifter album on vinyl. I was really excited about that. I'm sure you heard of that. Have you heard of that, the Luke the Drifter?
Oh yeah, yes, sir. Be careful of the stone we throw, men with broken hearts.
Yeah,
all that stuff, man. That's some of my Williams stuff.
Yeah, man.
Drifter stuff. I mean, I get into, you know, hey, good looking and all that kind of stuff, but you can tell,
Yeah.
especially with the Drifter stuff, that it's coming from a real place for him, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There's just I can go on and on about Hank. So you get you
Got him on
also
my skin.
yeah. Oh, there you go. Nice. I was actually thinking about getting a tattoo. I'm a huge John Lennon fan, so I have a John Lennon tattoo on me. So
awesome.
All the artists that inspire
man.
us.
Hank's big. Hank's big here. We got picture there. Got life-size cutout over here in the corner.
That is awesome.
Hank's big. Yeah, he's big around here, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we were in Nashville. I want to say 2 years ago. We were checking about all the Hank Williams. I seen the Hank or the Johnny Cash Museum. It's really cool to know that, even the Ryman Theater, it was cool to know that, once he had stood there before, so it was an awesome thing to do.
Man, there's not a whole lot of places left in Nashville. They've torn so many of them down, but the Ryman, obviously. And then there's the Acuff Rose building, which Fred Rose was Hank's mentor, essentially. He's the guy that wrote Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. Fred Rose wrote Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. And he was Hank's publisher, but he was also a father figure in Hank's life. And the Acuff Rose building is it's on Melrose Avenue, but that's Hank would right there some. And then the house on Franklin Road, 4916 Franklin Road. So Hank and Audrey's house that was on that property is gone. It was torn down by George Jones and Tammy Wynette, but the driveway's still there. And it's actually the house Tammy Wynette died in. So that house is still there. The property's still there, even though Hank's house is gone. If you go to Montgomery, Alabama, where he's from, he had a house at 10 Stewart Avenue. Him and Audrey, it was the first house they ever bought. That house is still there, but all of his mom's boarding houses are gone. The Empire Theater's still there. The City Auditorium where he played and also where his funeral was held, it's still there. Wow. Chris's Hot Dogs, which is he would play WSFA, he'd play on the radio in the morning, and then he'd walk down to Chris's Hot Dogs in Montgomery. That's still there, exactly how it was. That place has been there since like 1927 or 28, something like that. And it's still exactly the same. He loved Chris's Hot Dogs, so you can go there. And then the Jefferson Davis Hotel, which is where WSFA radio station was, it's actually low-income housing now, but it's still there. So there's a couple places in and around Nashville and Montgomery you can go to that Hank, Hank was at, played at, lived at, whatever. But they're getting few and far between, man, as the years go by.
Yeah. Just like you said, as the years go by, things just start to lose its, memory, and things get torn down. It sucks.
Yep, it does, brother. I'm with you. I'm a big proponent for I love history, country music history, especially. And it's sad to think that all these places are gone, but I guess that's the way of the world.
Yeah. So what's your take on modern pop country?
Well, see, here's the thing, man. Pop country has been around for as long as country music has been around. For example, when Hank Sr. was alive and making records, he was considered quote unquote hard country, where guys like Eddie Arnold were considered pop country. Pop country has always been a thing, man, whether you're talking about Eddie Arnold or whether you're talking about Countrypolitan, the Nashville sound in the 1960s with all the strings and the orchestras on everything. Um, it's all, or going to the 70s, guys like BJ Thomas.
Yeah.
It's always been a thing, man. I don't mind pop country. My problem is that my problem specifically with pop country is the radio. The radio will only play that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to rock radio, they'll play Led Zeppelin right next to Nirvana, right next to Five Finger Death Punch or whatever band's cool these days. Rock radio has always shown respect to the artists that have come before. Where in country, it's like once you hit 28 or 30, you're gone. No more radio play whatsoever, man. And that's wrong. And that's the program directors. I would never, pop country isn't my thing. It's not the music I listen to. It's not the music I make. But I would never tell a person, hey, you can't like this music, or hey, you shouldn't make this. Everybody's entitled to make whatever kind of art they want to make. My problems with the power to be that only, there's no reason George Jones can't be played right beside Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? Country music has a long and rich history. And it's like country music has a problem with itself, quote unquote, mainstream country music has a problem with where it came from. Nashville as a city has always wanted to be accepted by New York and LA. Always, man. And it's still like that to this day, instead of just being happy that it's Nashville. And that it all feeds into everything, man. There's no real short answer. It all feeds into everything. And if the program directors at these stations would play George Jones and then Taylor Swift and then, Jinx or somebody, give the people the show that versatility, I think that radio in general, and specifically country radio, would be in much better shape than it is currently. But they only want to play whatever's new, whatever's hot. And that's wrong, man. That's wrong. There's room for everybody. There's room for everyone. Todd Snyder had a real good analogy. He said that pop country is for the people that were homecoming kings and queens in high school. They grow up, they still need music. You know what I mean? They still want the stuff. That stuff is made for those type of people. And I kind of agree with that, man. A lot of the people that are into Morgan Wallen or Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean, all that kind of shit are the people that were, popular in high school and all that kind of stuff, man. And that's fine. To each their own, more power to everyone. But there's room for all of us. There's room for all of us.
Yeah, I've never actually thought about it like that. When you said that radio is playing, things like Led Zeppelin to Nirvana and still kind of relinquishing the old bands. And country radio does not do that at all.
No, sir. No, sir. The only way you hear country or older country, traditional country, whatever you want to call it, on the radio is if there's a station devoted specifically towards that. You won't turn on an iHeart station and hear, Merle Haggard after Florida Georgia Line. They don't play Merle Haggard. They just play Florida Line,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's a very good analogy. Do you listen to any, I did read an interview that you were in, I forget when it was, but it mentioned that you liked hip hop as well.
Yes, sir. I grew up. So growing up, I stayed with my grandparents a lot, and they were always into, country, Waylon and Willie. And it was the East, so they were real big into Hank Jr. and Alabama, Randy Travis, those kinds of things. So I always had that. But at the same time, I was a rebellious kid, as we all do. You know what I mean? We all rebel. And as I was growing up, hip hop was growing up too, Yeah. So I got, my grandmother was a librarian. She was also an English teacher. So books and words were always a big part of my life. And I got real into artists that I perceived their lyrics as being poetry, or artists that were real big on multisyllable rhymes and internal rhymes, that kind of stuff. My favorite MC is Big Pun.
Okay.
he's especially with the internal rhymes, man, he's incredible. And if you listen to a song like Damn These Birds, even though on the surface it might not sound like hip hop, if you listen to the way I'm putting those words together, there's hip hop influence all throughout.
For sure.
Yeah, man. So I still listen to the hip hop I've always listened to. I'm not big on, the new stuff that I can't. They call it mumble rap. I can't understand what they're saying. I'm not into that, man. But things like Big Pun, guys like Tupac, and I have a lot of respect for those guys and consider them all to be influences on my own music.
Yeah. Have you ever heard? Well, I listen to it. I mean, I listen to the top guys too, but there's a lot of underground hip hop. I don't know if you ever heard of Atmosphere or.
Man, I do the one with the tattooed hands live.
Oh,
I play that.
Damn.
Night. Yeah.
No shit.
Yes, sir. Yep. So back in the early 2000s, when I was part of a hip hop group, we did a lot of shows with some Rhyme Sayers artists. We played with Atmosphere a bunch. We played with Idea and Abilities a bunch.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we played with Blueprint a bunch. I was real big into that Rhyme Sayers stuff when I was like 18, 19, 20. Yeah.
Wow. That is crazy.
Small world, man. I was hoping you were going to say Atmosphere. Yeah, I do a version of the woman with the tattooed hands on stage. I'd say probably 80% of the shows I play.
No shit. Yeah, I'm probably going to be going to one to your show. I think it's in November in Illinois. Forgot what it is.
At the law office.
Yes, that's it.
Gotcha. Well, man, I'll make sure I do that night then.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
There is another a rapper you might like called Astronautilus.
I've never heard of him.
He's from Florida. He's really mainstream, but he is really good. So if you ever get a chance, check him out.
Astronautilus. Let me write that down. Because I'm still into hip hop. It's just got to be good hip hop. I'm not into the hey.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
No, me neither. It's got to have some meaning to it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Cool. I wrote that down. I'll check it out when we get off the phone.
Awesome. Yeah. So do you still do you drink at all, or do you still drink? Do you drink at all?
Yeah, I drink from time to time. I'm not a big drinker. I'm a pothead. I smoke a lot of weed.
Okay.
Yeah, we all have our vices. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was actually, back in high school, I used to smoke a lot. And then last year I had just fucking crazy anxiety. So I tried it again. And it was a bad trip. It was a bad trip.
That sucks.
I felt like it was coming out of my head. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's no good. I come from a long line of alcoholics. So I always told myself I wasn't going to be a drinker. Now I say that. I just went and bought the stuff today to make myself White Russian tonight because I've been craving White Russian. But I'm not. I come from a long line of alcoholics, so I always told myself I wasn't going to be a drinker. Yeah. So instead, I got the fucking hard drugs. Whatever. Shit happens.
Just to kind of tame it off.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. The reason I was asking, because I actually have a drink here. I was going to see if you wanted to do a little cheersies or.
Yeah, sure. Hold on one second. I got my coffee here. It's got a little Kahlua in it. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, hey, cheers, man.
Yeah, same to you, sir.
All right. Well, I'm not going to keep you long. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot of stuff to do. What's
brother? I plan to talk to you for an hour, so we got time.
No shit. Well then, hey, let's keep going.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
How did the collaboration with writing the songs with the fans go?
Man, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. It actually. They all went a lot better than I was expected. I was expecting the majority of the classes to be with, people that had thought about writing songs but had never tried it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that was the case, man. I had a lot of people that consider themselves to be serious songwriters sign up for it, and it was
That's
cool
awesome.
because it helped me fund my new record, which is done, and it also allowed me to work with people that, in a normal quote unquote normal situation, I may never have. Excuse me, I may never have sat down with. So, man, they went great. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I think the people that signed up for them, I think they had a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool songs out there now because of them. So
That's
it was
awesome.
an AM. Yeah, man.
I'm sure that'll be exciting too, for them too. I mean, to have
There
your
was a guy.
name stamp on it.
Yeah, man. There was a guy from the Netherlands that flew over here to do one, and we ended up getting 2 songs finished, and he's already been in the studio working on recording them.
Wow.
So, yeah, man, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a very creative idea.
Thanks, man. It was, like I said, I needed it to help fund my new record, so it worked for that, and it also gave me a chance to connect with new people. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And how's the new record going? Can you say anything about it or
Yeah, man, it's done. It's all done. Actually, it just got sent off to mastering today. So once it's mastered, it's done. But as far as all the recordings done, all of that, I've been talking to a few different labels. I want to put it out with someone that's going to get it in front of new eyeballs.
Yeah.
The thing about me, man, a lot of the country music fans or the crowd in country music in general traditionally has been a very conservative fan base, and I'm very liberal as a person.
Yeah.
And like I write songs that have a country influence, but I stopped considering myself a country singer, quote unquote, or a country songwriter years ago. I consider myself to be a songwriter now, just whatever kind of song.
Yeah.
So with that being the case and my music not being, country in the way most people think of it, I need to try to connect with an audience that, is a little left of center like I am, So I'm trying to find a label to put it out that will put some PR behind it and get it in front of some new eyeballs in the hopes of finding my crowd. Like, I'm eternally grateful to Cody Jinks and to anyone that is kind of or to anyone that's recorded my songs or anyone that I'm associated with, especially level of someone like him. But I'm not a country singer, and I don't. So a lot of Jinx's crowd are country fans, and they like the songs that I write, and they like the way Cody does them. But when they hear me, it's like, well, that guy's not country, so I need to find my crowd, So that's what
and it's definitely out there, man. I mean, from the stuff that, like I said, I was going the other day, I was just going through your songs, and a song that you wrote, what was it called? We Were There.
Yeah. That's one. Yeah.
That was just very catchy, and it reminded me of like a modern oldies song. I mean, to me.
No, I appreciate that, man. So that's probably, as far as lyrically, that's probably my favorite song of mine that I've written. Now, when we did the production for it, or when we recorded it, the drum beat from that song came from the Nas song, I Know I Can Be What I Want to Be If I Work Hard. That's where that drum pattern came from. So it has,
oh, no shit.
so it has kind of a hip hop feel to it. And I think that probably turns some people away from it, but that's what that song needed. And lyrically, that's probably my favorite song of mine that I've written. I just think it tells a good story and paints a good picture.
Yeah. And it definitely did.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, like I said, I think, there's always that, that label that people try to throw on someone, especially, I mean, back in the day when they used to have like, CDs out, like what genre are you looking for, country? So there's always like a label on music. And that's one of the things I can't stand, because even if like you have a alternative rock band that decides they want to do more like pop or hip hop or whatever, they'll still put them in alternative.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And that's been a problem with me as far as, labels, record labels go. The thing I've heard the most often is we don't know where to put you, because it's not country, but it's not rock and roll. It's definitely not hip hop, even though there's hip hop influences. It's definitely that. But it's not folk music either. We don't know where to put you. And if we don't know where to put you, we don't know who to market to. And if we don't know who to market to, we can't sell your record, which is what we do. So I'm sorry, but we're going to have to pass. And it's like, okay, well, and that, but somewhere there's got to be something or some that understands what it is I do and will understand how to get it in front of new people. So that's what I'm looking for. I haven't found it yet, but that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Why don't you try Rhymesayer? See what the
no shit. That's great. Oh man.
So so running so with Cody Jinks, obviously it must be the whiskey you wrote. How does that feel to hear, a big crowd listening to that with Cody Jinks singing it?
That was the first song of mine that Jinx recorded. It was also the first song of mine that anyone recorded. And it's also been the most successful. I was headed back from a West Coast tour with Coulter Wall in December of 2018. And I saw that Jinx was doing an acoustic Christmas concert in Dallas. So I called him up and I said, hey, man, we're going to be coming through Dallas. Can I come to the show? And he was like, well, if you're coming to the show, you might as well perform. So I performed, and I didn't do that song during my set. It had just come out a couple months before, so I was leaving it for him to do. So he called me out to sing it with him. And it was at the Majestic Theater in Dallas. There was 3,000 people there. It was sold out. And that was the first time I had ever heard a crowd of people that big sing a song back to me that I had written. And
at
that
had
point,
to feel awesome.
Man, at that point, I had been on the road for 15 years. No one really gave a shit at all, ever, until Must Be the Whiskey came out. And then, some people started paying attention. But I had never had anything like that happen. And I am eternally grateful to Chris Couture. He took this picture. This is me and Jinx. This is the moment that I heard him sing it back to me for the first time.
Wow.
And if you could see my face in the front, you'd see that I'm crying because it meant so much to me. But that's why Jinx has that big smile on his face. He knows. Yeah. He knows that's exactly.
Awesome, man.
Picture. Yep. So I'll never forget that, man. I will never forget that.
So were you guys friends before this, or how did it all come about?
So we played a festival together in 2015 or 16 in my hometown in Maryland, where I'm from. It was Cody and Whitey and Sonny Sweeney and us and Billy Don Burns. Was the festival lineup, and excuse me, he and I had talked just kind of like, my name's Josh, nice to meet you, hey, what's up, I'm Cody, online, but we had never met in person. That's the first time we met in person. And that day he stood at the side of the stage, him and Josh Thompson, his bass player, stood at the side of the stage and watched my entire show that day. And when I came off the stage, he was standing there. He said, "Man, that was great. We should write together." I said, "I'd love to." So he gave me his phone number. And then at some point between then, which would have been 2015 or 16, and June of 2018, which is when Must Be the Whiskey came out, sometime in that time span, I obviously had sent in the song, but it took me, it was like 2 years, dude, before I got up the courage to send in the song. Because I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy that's like, here, listen to my song. Here, listen to my song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not me, man. But I had written this song, and I was like, man, that sounds like Cody Jinks. So I had it ready to go, and I had been playing it on my morning Facebook things here and there, and just making a joke that if anyone knows Jinks, tell him I got a song for him. Well, he sent me a text out of the blue one day that said, "Hey, man, I'm getting ready to go into the studio to work on," it was his Lifers record at the time. And
Yeah.
he said, "Do you have any songs that you think would work?" And I said, "Well, actually, I do." So I sent him over the phone recording that I had. No bullshit. 20 minutes later, or about 20, 30 minutes later, he sent me back a recording from his phone of him doing it.
Holy
And
shit.
still have that recording on my phone, man. I still have that recording on my phone. And then next thing you know, here we are, however many years later, 7, 8 years later. So that's a very long-winded way to answer your question. No, I did not
That's perfect.
really know him too well before we played that festival together. After we played that festival, we became good friends. And that's why I say I owe any type of quote unquote success that I've had to playing live. Any relationship that I have, any song I've ever gotten recorded by someone else, anything, any quote unquote success that I have had can be traced back in some way to playing live. And that's why I tell people when they ask me for advice, I tell them play any and everywhere that'll have you. I've played slaughterhouses, I've played furniture stores, I've played grocery stores, I played a funeral home parking lot one day.
Wow.
Yeah, I've played them all, and anything that's happened in my career can be traced back to playing live. So,
Oh shit. That's an awesome story, man.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I never knew how that, hookup got. I just seen Cody, where was it? Milwaukee at the Harley Davidson Fest.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was a good time.
that's awesome. Was it?
Yeah,
They put on a great show, man. They put on a great show.
they always do. I like it. It was a good time at the festival. I like the more personal shows that he's played, or any artist plays.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time, man.
Awesome.
So what's the new name of your album coming out, or do you have a name yet?
So I think it's just going to be called Josh Morningstar, man. I'm not a fan of the recording studio. I'm a troubadour, man. I'm a live guy. I feel I'm much better in a live setting than I am on record. So
Yeah.
I've never really liked my recordings. But this one I did with a guy named Jay Took. I worked on it together, and we recorded it in Nashville. And I gotta say, man, I think it's pretty damn good. So with feeling how I feel about it, I think I'm just gonna have it be a self-titled record because I'm proud of it for the first time. So
That's good, man. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I dig it. I'm excited to hear it.
Hey, man, it was a pleasure and an honor to talk to you, bud.
Brother, it's all mine, man. Thank you very much for letting me come on. I appreciate you, dude.
Yeah, no problem. So when we do, we'll probably release this in a couple of weeks or so. Is there any song that we could play on there?
Play any of them you want to, man.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, Josh, I appreciate it again coming on and sharing your stories, and keep in touch, buddy, because definitely want to do this again when your new album comes out.
Well, brother, I appreciate you having me on, man. I had a blast talking to you. Thank you. And please make sure that I'm aware of when it comes out, because I'll share it and do all that stuff when it does.
Yeah, will do. Yeah, keep in touch, buddy. When your new album comes out, I want to talk to you again, all right?
I'd be honored, man, anytime.
All right, man. Take care,
Appreciate
bud.
it. Go.
Once again, thank you for listening to The Chris Court Show. Remember, if you have a band or business, or know someone that has a band or business, send all the info and MP3s to chriscourtshow@gmail.com. Chicken nuggets and cranberry sauce.
The Chris Court Show.